The sun rose gently over the quiet suburb of London, spilling golden light through the lace curtains of the Harper household. Birds chirped lazily outside, and the faint hum of the city waking up mixed with the aroma of fresh coffee drifting from the kitchen. Emma Harper stirred in bed, pulling the soft quilt closer around her. Beside her, her husband Daniel was still asleep, the early morning light casting a soft glow over his face. She watched him for a moment, a small smile curling on her lips. It was moments like these, quiet, intimate, that made her heart swell with love. Over the years, life had given them challenges, but together, they had built something solid, something beautiful. A family grounded in affection, laughter, and unwavering devotion. Emma finally slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Daniel. The wood floor felt cool beneath her bare feet as she made her way to the kitchen. She started the coffee machine, the smell of roasted beans filling the space. Their two children, Lily aged 7 and Max, aged 5, would be up any minute, rushing to start the day with endless energy and infectious laughter. The front door creaked as Daniel stretched and stepped into the kitchen, still yawning, hair tousled from sleep. He caught sight of Emma and smiled, that gentle, reassuring smile she had fallen in love with years ago. "Morning," he murmured, pressing a kiss to her temple. "Morning, sleepyhead," she replied, her fingers brushing his as she handed him a mug. Daniel inhaled the rich aroma, his eyes softening as he watched her move. It wasn't just a morning routine, it was a ritual of love, a connection that ran deeper than words. The pitter-patter of little feet announced Lily and Max's arrival. Lily, hair in neat braids, bounded into the kitchen, her tiny hands clutching a favorite stuffed bunny. Max, still rubbing his eyes, followed closely, dragging a blanket behind him. Both children squealed at the sight of breakfast on the table, and Devon with laughter and chatter. Daniel crouched to greet Max, ruffling his hair. "Ready for school, little man?" he asked. Max nodded, bouncing on the balls of his feet. "Yes. And Lily is coming too." Emma chuckled, setting a plate of pancakes in front of Lily. "Don't forget to eat your fruits, sweetie," she reminded, though the girl's attention was firmly on the syrup-drenched pancakes. As they ate, the family's conversation flowed naturally, filled with laughter and teasing. Daniel told a story about a minor mishap at work the day before, embellishing it just enough to make the children giggle. Emma chimed in with witty remarks, her eyes sparkling as Daniel pretended to be mortified. After breakfast, Daniel and Emma worked seamlessly together to get the children ready for school. Emma tied Lily's shoelaces while Daniel helped Max find his backpack. It was in these small moments that their partnership, their love, felt tangible, an unspoken rhythm that bound them closer together. Once the children were ready, they kissed both parents goodbye, promising to behave and to remember to feed their goldfish. The moment the front door clicked shut, the house felt a little quieter, the energy shifting back to Emma and Daniel. Daniel took Emma's hand, pulling her close. "You know," he murmured, "it's in mornings like this I realize how lucky I am." Emma leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. "I feel the same," she replied. "It's not just the big things, Daniel. It's the mornings, the little rituals, the laughter of our children. That's love." Their kiss was slow, lingering, full of the kind of intimacy that only years of shared life could create. In that simple moment, the world outside didn't exist. There were no deadlines, no errands, no chaos, just the quiet pulse of love that had grown between them over the years. After a while, they moved to the couch, wrapped in a shared blanket, the sun now spilling across the room. They talked about small dreams, weekend plans, and moments they wanted to create for the children. It was a conversation punctuated with smiles, touches, and quiet laughter, a reaffirmation that they were in this together, come what may. Emma glanced at Daniel, eyes soft. "Do you remember our first date?" she asked. He chuckled, brushing her hair back. "How could I forget? You laughed at every word I said. I thought, maybe this woman was too perfect to be real." You said I was too serious, she teased, smiling. He leaned in, whispering against her lips. And I was completely wrong. You're perfect in every way, Emma. For a moment, the world outside could wait. In their little corner of the house, love was palpable, a living, breathing presence that filled every room. The morning stretched lazily, golden light filtering through the curtains, and Emma and Daniel held each other close. Outside, life went on, but inside, in this small sanctuary of warmth and affection, the Harper family's love story unfolded quietly, beautifully, and without end. The sun climbed higher in the London sky, spilling warmth across the Harpers' garden. The morning air was crisp but inviting, carrying the scent of freshly mowed grass and blooms from the small flower beds Emma tended carefully each week. Today was a Saturday, a day reserved for laughter, for long hours together, and for creating memories that would linger long after the children were grown. Emma stepped into the kitchen in a light summer dress, her hair loosely braided over one shoulder. Daniel, already in shorts and a t-shirt, leaned against the counter, sipping his coffee and watching her with that soft, enamored gaze he always had. You're smiling like a secret's in your pocket, he teased. Emma's cheeks flushed slightly. Maybe I have one, she said, reaching over to ruffle his hair. Lily and Max barreled into the kitchen, their faces lit with anticipation. What's today's adventure, Mom? Dad? Lily asked, bouncing on her toes. Daniel laughed. Today we conquer the garden, he said dramatically. We're planting flowers, building forts, and, oh yes, a surprise picnic. Max clapped, nearly toppling over with excitement. And can we run around? And maybe splash in the sprinkler? Emma smiled, taking Daniel's hand. We're in charge of fun today. Let's make it perfect. By mid-morning, the backyard had transformed into a paradise of play. Lily helped Emma plant tulips and daisies, digging carefully in the soft soil, while Max ran circles with Daniel, chasing after a brightly colored ball. Laughter rang out like music, carried on the gentle breeze. Daniel leaned down to whisper something in Emma's ear. You know, seeing you with the kids, I fall in love with you all over again. Emma's cheeks warmed. She pressed her hand against his chest, feeling the familiar strength beneath. And I with you, she murmured. Every single day. He kissed her softly, a brief but electric touch, while Lily and Max barely noticed, too busy with their flowers and balls. The kiss lingered a moment longer than intended, filled with years of shared history and quiet understanding. After gardening, Daniel suggested a break. They spread a blanket in the shade of a large oak tree and unpacked sandwiches, fruit, and lemonade. The children chattered endlessly, recounting imaginary adventures and adding fantastical details about dragons and hidden treasure. Emma and Daniel exchanged amused glances, enjoying both the chaos and the serenity of these little moments. At one point, Daniel brushed a stray lock of hair from Emma's face. His hand lingered, tracing the line of her jaw with gentle affection. I love that you always find magic in the simplest things, he said softly. Emma leaned into him, eyes half closed. I love that you remind me to see it, she whispered. Their kisses were longer now, slow and deep, infused with the passion that had sparked their romance years ago, and had only grown stronger over time. Even in the midst of family life, they found these small islands of intimacy, proving that love could be both gentle and fiery, playful and enduring. As the afternoon sun climbed higher, the family moved inside for an arts and crafts session. Lily was making a flower crown for Emma, while Max created a messy masterpiece with paints and glitter. Daniel joined in, helping the children, teasingly making awful designs that earned him mock scolding from the kids. Emma leaned against the counter, watching him, heart swelling. The sight of Daniel laughing with their children made her feel a warmth that words could never fully capture. It wasn't just love for him. It was the love for the life they had built together. The family that was their shared creation. When Max accidentally flicked paint onto Daniel's shirt, Emma laughed, and Daniel turned to her with a playful glare. "I think you owe me a proper kiss for protection from the glitter army," he said. Emma smirked and leaned in. Their lips met, soft at first, then deeper, eyes closing as if the world outside didn't exist. The children watched, fascinated, and then erupted in laughter, shouting that their parents were so gross and so cute at the same time. Daniel lifted Emma, spinning her around before setting her gently back on her feet, still smiling. "We are," he said, hugging her tightly, "the cutest, most in-love parents in the universe." Emma rested her head against his shoulder. "And the luckiest," she whispered. The day turned into evening. Daniel suggested a family walk in the nearby park. Holding hands, Emma and Daniel flanked their children, the four of them chatting, laughing, and occasionally spinning in a spontaneous dance in the middle of the path. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in pinks and oranges, Daniel stopped and drew Emma close. "I don't say it enough," he murmured, looking into her eyes, "but I love you. I love you for everything you are, and everything we are together." Tears welled in Emma's eyes as she replied, "I love you too, and I promise every day to make our love grow, for us and for our children." They kissed again, the sky glowing around them, the park quiet except for the sounds of distant birds and the laughter of their children chasing each other. It was a perfect moment of intimacy, passion, and love, the kind that carried through everyday life and made even ordinary days feel extraordinary. By the time they returned home, the stars were twinkling above. Dinner was simple but full of laughter, and the children eventually fell asleep in their cozy beds, exhausted but happy. Emma and Daniel sat together afterward, wrapped in a blanket, sipping tea and stealing kisses in the quiet of their home. The house was filled with the warmth of family, the magic of love, and the promise of countless tomorrows spent together. In those quiet moments, Daniel whispered against her ear, "No matter what happens, this us, our family, it's my greatest adventure." Emma smiled, resting her head against his chest. "And mine," she whispered back. The rain poured gently over the Harper household, tapping on the windows like a soothing rhythm, and inside, the cozy warmth of the home wrapped around Emma, Daniel, Lily, and Max like a soft embrace. It was the kind of day that invited comfort and closeness, so Daniel suggested a spontaneous indoor picnic on the living room floor, spreading a soft blanket near the fireplace while the children scampered around, gathering cushions and giggling uncontrollably as Emma prepared sandwiches and hot cocoa, and as the four of them settled down, the soft patter of rain outside became the perfect soundtrack to laughter, whispered secrets, and the playful teasing that filled the room. Daniel stealing soft kisses from Emma whenever she wasn't looking, and she responded with gentle caresses along his arm and the small of his back, feeling the familiar, electric pull of love that had grown stronger with each passing year, their children occasionally breaking into fits of giggles at their parents' affectionate displays, and the scent of cocoa mingling with the warmth of the fire created a cocoon around them where time seemed to stretch and blur, allowing them to forget the world outside. For Daniel and Emma shared soft whispers of plans for future adventures, sweet promises, and tender recollections of the moments that had cemented their love, while Lily and Max painted imaginary rainbows in the air with their hands, insisting that dragons lived in the puddles forming outside and that their parents must save them. And in those moments, Emma pressed her hand to Daniel's chest, feeling his steady heartbeat beneath her palm, a constant reminder of their enduring connection, and Daniel brushed his thumb across her cheek, murmuring words of love that made her heart swell. And when Max tripped over a cushion, Daniel scooped him up, kissing the top of his head while Emma wrapped Lily in a warm hug, and the afternoon passed with the gentle flow of affection, soft laughter, playful teasing, and stolen kisses. A day where love was tangible in every glance, every touch, every shared smile. And as the rain softened into a drizzle and the sky lightened to a silvery hue, Daniel held Emma close, whispering promises of forever, and she rested her head against his chest, eyes closed, letting the quiet intimacy of their family and the depth of their love wash over her, knowing that these simple, perfect moments, the shared warmth, the laughter of their children, the soft, tender kisses, the whispered confessions of love, were the heartbeat of their life together, the foundation of their marriage, and the living proof that in a world of chaos, their home was a sanctuary of romance, joy, and unwavering family love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold, pink, and deep violet, the Harper family gathered in their backyard for an impromptu evening under the stars. Daniel spreading a soft blanket on the grass while Emma lit a few lanterns that cast a warm, golden glow, Lily and Max squealing with delight as they chased fireflies between the flower beds, and Daniel gently holding Emma's hand, feeling the familiar squeeze of warmth and love that had grown stronger through the years of laughter, challenges, and quiet moments of connection, while Emma rested her head on his shoulder, feeling the rise and fall of his chest in perfect rhythm with her own heartbeat. And together they watched their children twirl and laugh, the sound like music in the gentle evening air. And Daniel leaned over to whisper sweet nothings into Emma's ear, words that made her shiver with affection and longing, while she pressed soft kisses along his jaw and down his neck, reminding him in small, electric ways that their love was alive, passionate, and unbreakable. And as the stars began to twinkle above, tiny pinpricks of silver light against the darkening sky, Emma and Daniel held hands tightly, sharing stories of their childhood dreams and quiet wishes for the future. Their voices blending with the night, the sound of rustling leaves, the laughter of their children, and the distant hum of the city beyond their fence, creating a tapestry of memory, connection, and belonging. And when Lily and Max snuggled against them under the blanket, whispering stories of dragons and adventures, Daniel wrapped his arms around both Emma and the children, feeling the warmth of their love in a tangible, almost sacred way, while Emma rested her cheek against his chest, feeling tears of joy prick at her eyes as she whispered promises of forever. And Daniel brushed his lips against her forehead, murmuring back, their hearts beating in perfect harmony, knowing that these quiet, magical moments, the gentle touch of hands, the soft stolen kisses, the laughter of their children, the warmth of the fireflies and lanterns, were what made life extraordinary, that their love was not just between husband and wife but woven into every part of their family, every look, every embrace, every tender smile. And as the night deepened, the stars shining brighter and the children's eyelids growing heavy, Emma and Daniel shared a long, lingering kiss beneath the canopy of the universe, promising each other that no matter the challenges, no matter how the world outside shifted, this love, this family, this life, would remain their greatest treasure, their most cherished adventure, and the heartbeat of their forever. Morning light spilled through the curtains of the Harper household, soft and golden, illuminating the warmth of their home, and the gentle rhythm of a family who loved one another with all their hearts. As Emma stretched and yawned, feeling the comfort of Daniel's arm around her waist, the soft rise and fall of his chest matching hers as he whispered a sleepy good morning, that made her smile, and soon Lily and Max tumbled into the room, their giggles bouncing like music off the walls. Daniel scooping them both into his arms in a playful embrace as Emma leaned in to press a tender kiss to his lips. The four of them wrapped in a cocoon of laughter, love, and joy that seemed to suspend time itself. And as breakfast was prepared together in the sunlit kitchen, with pancakes stacked high and the sweet smell of fresh fruit filling the air, their hands brushed, eyes met, and soft words of affection were exchanged between Emma and Daniel, each glance and touch a reminder of the years they had shared, the challenges they had overcome, and the dreams they had built together, while Lily and Max narrated fantastical adventures of knights, dragons, and secret treasures, filling the room with a kind of magic that made ordinary moments feel extraordinary. And as the morning gave way to afternoon, the family ventured to the nearby park, holding hands, running together, sharing ice cream cones, and laughing until their cheeks hurt, Daniel twirling Emma in a spontaneous dance under the warm sun, their hearts swelling with love so deep it was almost tangible. And when a gentle breeze brushed through the trees, carrying the scent of flowers and grass, Emma rested her head on Daniel's shoulder, whispering words of gratitude for the life they had created. A life full of warmth, trust, passion, and laughter, while Daniel replied softly that she was his greatest blessing, his partner, his confidant, and the love of his life. And as evening approached, they returned home, hand in hand. Lily and Max along the path while sharing quiet jokes and kisses that spoke volumes of the bond they shared. And when the family settled back in their cozy living room, Emma snuggled close to Daniel on the sofa, watching their children play with building blocks and stuffed animals. Daniel's fingers brushing her hair as they exchanged gentle whispers of future plans, dreams for vacations, hopes for holidays, and quiet promises to always keep the spark alive. And as night fell, the stars emerging above like tiny diamonds scattered across velvet, the Harper family gathered in the backyard once more for a brief moment of reflection, marveling at the beauty of the universe and their place within it. Emma resting her head against Daniel's chest while he held her, their hearts beating together, a rhythmic song of love that was mirrored in the laughter and joy of Lily and Max. And in that perfect, quiet, magical moment, surrounded by warmth, affection, and the kind of love that transcended words, Emma and Daniel whispered to each other that no matter what tomorrow brought, no matter how fast the world outside spun, they would face it together, side by side, hand in hand, hearts intertwined, their family a sanctuary of unwavering devotion, infinite tenderness, endless romance, and boundless joy, promising that each sunrise, each day, and each ordinary moment would be celebrated as a precious gift, and that the love they had nurtured, the life they had built, and the family they cherished would forever remain their most treasured adventure, their everlasting home, and their ultimate story of passion, warmth, and eternal togetherness. A story that would grow richer, deeper, and more beautiful with every passing day, carrying with it the promise of tomorrow and the infinite joy of a love that could never fade.